My hello there. I literally just came back from school and I'm doing this before doing my actual homework. So, I hope you will enjoy it and I hope it will be better than the first fic in the series. And let's just start without a lot of yapping from me. Down the Rabbit Hole by Adrian the Gay. Summary. Rabbit, what do you want from me? He asks, voice low and gruff. He tries to not show his apprehension. Thinly, or not so thinly, laced with fear. The vigilante in question just takes a step further, and further, and further, before reaching into their backpack and pulling out a small burnt up notebook. The pages are worn and some seem to be falling out, but the rabbit pays it no mind. They then open a page and, to Shota's confusion, bow. Please think, please sign my notebook, Eraserhead, sir. What? Or Eraserhead is trying to gather information on and capture the notorious rabbit vigilante. He expects it to be difficult. He knows it will likely take months to earn the man's trust. Except it doesn't. And Eraserhead quickly learns the rabbit is a huge fan, who just so happened to have an oversharing problem. The first time he met the rabbit, he wasn't expecting it. The Vigilante wasn't even supposed to be in his area, and yet, there he was, sitting on the top of the roof with his dark green hoodie and faded bunny ears. He couldn't even get within a few feet of the boy before he shot up, staring directly at Shota, then bolted. Nobody tends to see the rabbit unless if he needs something from you. It was lucky he even catches the person in the first place, considering how rare sightings were. But then it kept happening. Footsteps further behind him on patrol, pitch black marbles with green swirls behind being shot at the villains he's fighting, green bunny ears in the corner of his vision. The rabbit was everywhere. Shota couldn't get away from it, no matter where or when he patrolled. The rabbit wants something from him. Shota wasn't worried. That would be ridiculous. Afraid? No. He's just a bit apprehensive. After all, people don't just earn the label of Musutafu's ghost from throwing marbles and beating up street thugs. This kid has a reputation, and one that Shota does not want to test. Which is why when he hears light footsteps behind him one night, he immediately shifts to grab his captured weapon. When he turns, he sees them. They are short and thin, wearing a faded dark green hoodie with raped bunny ears and an intimidating mask with sharp, jagged lines resembling teeth. Rabbit, what do you want from me? He asked, voice low and gruff. He tries not to show his apprehension, thinly, or not so thinly, laced with fear. The vigilante in question just takes a step further, and further, and further, before reaching into their backpack and pulling out a small burnt up notebook. The pages are worn and some seem to be falling out, but the rabbits pays it no mind. They then open a page to show a surprise bow. Please sign the notebook, Eraserhead, sir. What? Shota looks down at the so-called elusive rabbit, and he feels like he's just been put through physical whiplash. Not only is this person's voice very high-pitched and almost young-sounding, they're shaking. I'm sorry, what? He asks, tightening his grip on the captured weapon. It's okay if you don't want to. I get it. You're one of my favorite heroes, and it's really, really hard to get signature from underground heroes. So please, sign my page on you. I would really appreciate it. Shota blinks, dumbstruck. Is this person actually serious? Is this a joke? I don't appreciate my time being wasted on such matters. The person deflates, and Shota feels a bit bad for some reason. It's like looking at a scolded puppy. So, sighing, he grabs a notebook and picks up the pen, but Shota freezes, now looking at the information written on the pages. Where did you learn all of this? The person shifts uncomfortably and looks up at him with big green eyes. Oh, rabbit's eyes are green. He'll need to write that down. Well, I really like heroes, and you have always been one of my favorites, but you're not really easy to get information on, so I may or may not have been following you for the last few weeks. I'm sorry. Should I cut them off? I already knew you've been following me. That doesn't change how detailed this information is like this. He points at the section relating to his capture weapon. How do you know it's related to my work? Nobody knows that. It's not public knowledge, even to close colleagues. Rabbit actually has the guts to shrug at that. I guess it had something to do with the whole floating hair thing. So I was right? They asked, practically beaming. Floating hair thing? What are you, 12? He asked, a bit jokingly, after signing his name and hanging the person back there in notebooks. So close, I'm actually 13. Shota wisps his head to face them. You're what? Rabbit tilts down his mask to give a shit-eating grin. And that, he starts, is my cue to go. See you again, Eraser. He tries to shoot out his captured Batman, but it's too late. The rabbit is gone, and Shota really, really despises his job sometimes. This is going to be so difficult to explain to the police. Shota, we've been friends for a long time and worked together for even longer. I am always astonished that you, of all people, do not accept the concept of a ruse. Shota looks at Detective Naomasa and groans, exhausted of having to explain the same thing over and over again. I told you, Detective, they said it so casually, not to mention their voices. They hate everything, it just makes sense. I never took you as the gullible type, Shota. I'm not gullible, I'm just... Uh, look, whether it's fake or not, the possibility of a little child wandering around without any adult supervision, taking on villains 3 times his size on daily. I do not feel comfortable simply letting this go, when this child could be killed at any given moment. Tsukauchi signs. As much as I do not trust the rabbit, I do trust you. I assign you to the case, just don't mess this up, Eraser. The hair commission already is breathing down my neck to get this catch. I don't want you making it any worse. Shota nods and stands to leave. Wasn't planning on it. From what we know about this kid so far, he's quiet, antisocial, and elusive. It wouldn't be hard to even get him in a conversation, even more so to get any information critical enough to mess with the case. And that, the kid said beginning, is why Kaishan isn't allowed around my action figures anymore. Seriously, how does one manage to accidentally explode an entire shelf of limited edition All Might figurines? I think he's just jealous that I got the Silver Age figure from that blind box challenge we did as kids. We even filmed a whole mini YouTube video about it. It was so fun. But Kaishan is a little shit and gonna stop being a total jerk. Shota gaped at him. He exploded it. How the hell did we manage that? Oh! The kid perks up, eyes practically shining. It's his quirk. She sweats nitroglycerin. It's really, really cool. His son pulls up his sleeve, revealing varying sizes of star-shaped burns, which, holy shit, what the hell? See? It's really strong. Unfortunately, he does have poor grip control, but it's kinda hard to control literal sweat. Kid, why is he burning you? Hmm? You're covered in burns, kid. Why the hell is he burning you? Oh, well, he's not as nicest, and sometimes he uses his quirk on me when he's angry. But it's fine. He doesn't mean to hurt me. At least I don't think he does. He's never done it on purpose, he just activates it out of habit. Sometimes he feels really, really bad afterwards, and he also cleans my desk when people write death threats. So he's cool. Shota is at a loss for words, camping his fingers through his own hair while trying to figure out where the hell things went so wrong for the kid. From what he learned from the very few meetings they had, Rabbit is smart. Really smart. Not to mention kind. He would run into a burning building without hesitation if it meant saving someone he'd never even met. And yet, everybody in this kid's life adult or otherwise, has failed him. He doesn't even know what the kid's home life is like, and if he's being honest, he isn't sure if he wants to ask. But it is important. He needs to ask eventually. A few meetings later, Shota finally decides to ask about the kid's home life. It goes better than expected at first. Hey kid? Yes, I guess I head, sir? Just a racer head is fine. Oh, okay, racer head. What's up? I wanted to ask, do you have anyone in your life other than me who's there for you? A parent, friend, teacher, whatever. Anyone who you can go for support? Oh, yeah, I have my mom. Shota lets out a sigh of relief. She's really, really nice and sweet. We have movie nights every Tuesday and Thursday. We play board games and oh, you should totally join us sometimes. She would love to meet you. Shota brain holds for a moment before he just stares at the kid. Rabbit, I'm a hero. You're a vigilante, and you're inviting me to your house to watch movies with your mother? Yeah, so? I mean, you're cool, I trust you. And if you're worried about my mom, she already knows about the vigilante stuff. I'm like super bad at keeping secrets. You don't say. The last conversation led Shota to a rather uncomfortable realization. Despite the kid hardly knowing him, he trusts the Eraserhead persona a lot. And sure, Shota knows he would never hurt the kid. He's grown fond of the boys this last few days. But it's worrying because if he trusts Shota after such a short amount of time, how would that apply to other people? If the kid was approached by a villain, how easily would they be able to earn his trust? So one day, while waiting for the rabbit to join him, he sits at the ledge of today's meeting spot. The kid joins him. Typically, he would immediately panic and tell the kid to get away from the ledge, but there are mental bars blocking them from falling. It does give him enough room, however, to fit his legs through and dangle them off the building. The rabbit looks concerned. Racer, is something wrong? No, just. Kid, you'd realize that I'm not trustworthy, right? He tilts his hat in response. Huh? Yes, you are. You're a hero and you're really nice. You listen to me when I rant and get worried about my scars and let me ask you a bunch of questions after about your quirk. That doesn't that doesn't mean I have good intentions. Sure, now I do, but I could also just be lying in order to arrest you, or even worse. The rabbit stops kicking his feet back and forth, pausing for a moment. But you're not. Shota signs. And how do you know that? Because I know you. I knew you'd do that. He responds, I will forward together in confusion. At this rate, they are getting nowhere in this conversation. Kid, you know me for what? A few days? Maybe a week? That's not enough time to properly judge how much you can trust a person. The kid quiet the kid's quiet for a moment before he signs, and then he looks up at Razor, pulling down his mask. Under it is pale skin and freckled cheeks. There's a bruise, and Shota isn't sure if it's from petrol or kachan. The kid needs help, and Shota doesn't know how to give it to him. Not yet. He smiles at Shota, but it's sad as he says, well, I guess I've just never really had the chance to learn that. Thanks, Eraser. I'll keep that in mind for the next hero I get unhealthy attached to. Kid? But the rabbit is already leaving. Shota hopes the kid doesn't take the conversation to heart, but knowing him, that's unlikely. Shota was worried that the last conversation would have broken Rabbit's trust, but if anything, he'd been even more talkative as of late. Usually it's about heroes, his mom, or Kachan, but today's different. He's not surprised the kid's passion. He's not surprised the kid's passionate about today's topic. Not really. Quirkism is a major problem in today's society. Shot has seen the result of it firsthand. It is, however, very discomforting that the child knows far more than some of the adults he's talked to. It's insane, honestly. Like, there's this boy I some talked to online. He had a demon mutation that gives him really cool wings and tail, but he gets bullied really bad for it, and it makes me so frustrated. He runs, waving around his arms angrily. He could be an amazing hero, but everyone around him treats him like a little monster. Shut up, not. It is unfortunate. I was never bullied as a kid, at least not to extreme extent, but I often was discouraged to becoming a hero, since there are common biases against villains or weak works. The rabbit's not basic. Exactly. I just don't understand why people are so idiotic. They can't look past their own biases. And don't even get me started on how reckless people are treated. Shota sucks in a breath, both surprised and unnerved. Workplace discrimination isn't a common topic. Hardly anyone talks about it. Even when they do, it's often muddled with lies and half trusts. People don't even like to consider the fact there are some out here who don't have quirks in the first place, so they ignore it. Ignore the rates of bullying, unemployment, suicide. How much does this kid know? For example, did you know that UA is the only high school in my area that accepts quirkless people? Sure, the other may say they do, but every single application is rejected without a second glance. They don't even care how good my grades are or how motivated I am. It's like the minute they see the quirkless diagnosis, they forgot I'm even human. Shuttle feels they leave his lungs, and he almost curses. But he doesn't. Instead, keeping a calm demeanor. You're quirkless. Rabbit seems to finally catch on to what he said as he freezes. Shota watches the kid basically mentally speedrun the 5 stages of grief before deciding on resignation. Yeah, I'm quirkless. Sorry I didn't tell you. I just didn't really want it to tie to my identity. They both know that's a lie. That's fine. It's not of my business, and frankly, it does not matter a single bit to me. Oh, the rest of the night is rather quiet. Very little conversation being made outside of the occasional comments during villain fights. Near when they are about to part ways, the kid finally speaks up. Hey, Eraser? Yeah, kid? Do you think I still can be a hero? Or, well, vigilante, I suppose? Why wouldn't I? Because I'm quirkless? Yet, I don't care if you're quirkless. You're strong, an excellent fighter, and frankly, a better hero than some of my students in some aspects. I couldn't care less if you have a quirk or not. Oh, and like that, the kid's gone. Shota needs to make some calls. Shota? I know it sounds unlikely, detective, but the kid said it's so genuine he couldn't have been lying. Shota! Detective, for the love of God, at least look into it. I can't believe you're making me do this. You do realize that even if he is telling the truth, it is extremely unlikely he's even in the system in the first place? You both know how biased it is. I know, but you need to at least check. I'm worried for the kid, detective. Namasa groans, running his hands through his short black hair. If you end up getting stabbed or shot in the back alley by this kid, don't expect me to save you. Your blind trust in him is going to backfire, you know? It's unsafe to get so attached when he very well could be lying. I know, no, Masa. I I am usually not like this, but this kid, he trusts me so easily. I just want to be able to return the favor. I looked into it for you. If I find any freckled boys without a quirk, I call you. Good. Thank you, detective. I appreciate it. I'll take a few arguments about the idea of stranger danger and keeping your identity a secret like you're supposed to be problem child. Oh my god. I'll take a few arguments about the idea of stranger danger and keeping your identity a secret like you're supposed to problem child. Shota eventually relents. He had agreed to meeting the child's mother under the circumstances that she would be disguised similar to the rabbits. It's like he didn't want to figure out who the kid was. In fact, if the kid was ever in the situation where he had or wanted to reveal his identity to Shota, he would accept it without hesitation. But he still had some rules for himself. Like, for example, not taking advantage of the fact this quirkless child who been bullied and abused by everyone around him actually trusts Shota with his home address. The idea of turning in the kid like that, it didn't feel right. So now he's here, waiting in the dark alleyway at 11 p.m. in order to meet the mother of a vigilante he's pseudo-adopted in the span of few weeks. What was, what has his life come to? He hears two voices get close and turns. Walking down the street is the rabbit, and what Shota can assume is his mother. She's wearing a dark green jacket and sweet. I am so sorry. She's wearing a dark green jacket and sweatpants with a black mask and eye makeup. Her voice is gentle and sweet, and Jesus, these two look similar. When the rabbit notices him, he beams and starts gushing over to him. Eraser, I hate her! I brought my mom, like I said I would. She really wanted to meet you. I'm so glad you two could finally have a conversation. He rambles on, waving his hands excitedly. Excitedly. God, this is so cool! Shota hides a smile behind his scarf, holding out his hand for the her to Shota hides a smile behind his scarf, holding out his hand for her to shake. She accepts it before bowing. Thank you for taking care of my son. I was so worried when I found out about his vigilantism. I'm glad someone out there can protect him. Shota feels a bit uncomfortable at the bowing and shrugs it off. It's fine. That's my job. You have a good kid. I hope to see him in the entrance exam soon. That what has that was what triggered the tears. He had begun to think maybe the kid's tears were his actual quirk. But nope. Just runs with the family apparently. After a mini soap fest and the after a mini fest that consisted of watery apologies with Shota awkwardly standing in the middle of it, they decided to just walk around and discuss things. The rabbit's mother. Just call me Usagi, dear. Alright, thank you. It was a bit uncomfortable mentally referring to you as just the mother. Usagi, Usagi crackles and watches as her son practically hops around. Shota's never seen him this excited, and he would be lying if he said it wasn't adorable. Heaven knows this kid deserves something good in his life. So, how have you things been going during patrols and all? He starts before adding. Izu Rabbit. Rabbit tends to tell me what happened during patrol, but he's also not the most reliable narrator. Shota ignores the slip up, but does put it in a mental folder for later. It's been fine. I do wish he would just wait to apply for the hero course, but the kid's careful and smart. I think he'll be fine. Even in the dark, he can see her eyes crinkle as if she's smiling. The rest of the night goes well, all of them stopping at the bench and drinking tea together. It's fairly nice, actually. After that, him and the rabbit and Usagi sometimes meet up for the hell of it. It just becomes another part of their routine, along with the daily cat photos he's been sending in the group chat. Shota doesn't even bother bringing his meat. Shota doesn't even bother bringing his meetups with Naomasa until they bump into each other in the break room. So, how's the rabbit doing? Any new information? Not really. But his mother so. She's quite a lovely person. Naomasa splutters, almost chugging his coffee. You what? Shota just leaves, styrofoam coffee cup in hand. He can hear yells from behind him, but he ignores it. Really is a shame show, so Yusaki really does brew better coffee. Maybe he should invite her over for dinner more often. Shota got and used to sing the rabbit I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I'm sorry. Shota's gotten used to seeing the rabbit consistently. It's been a few years at this point, and despite not actually knowing who the kid is, he still knows the kid. He's probably one of the only who have actually taken the time to talk to Rabbit, and that fact upset him. The kid's smart, jittery, and kind. His favorite color is red and loves katsudon. He probably spends thousands of dollars on hero merch, especially All Might, and has entire notebooks dedicated to heroes and their quirks. His mother is soft, protective, and gentle. She can't suit his son costume and patches up his wounds when he gets hurt at patrols. She likes to read Chosei manga in her free time and makes wonderful tea. He's been the kid without his mask on. He's seen the kid without his mask on, obviously. But since then, he's also seen the hood come off, revealing green curls. He's seen his scars, heard his story. He knows the kid. At this point, he was basically a son to him. If it weren't for the fact he knows the kid has an amazing homeline, he would have pushed now Masa for adoption paper instead of arrest warrants. Which is why, when a green haired boy was seen rushing into an active crime scene, clawing at the sludge to save a blonde haired boy, Shota knew. He knew he had found his kid. He wasn't even supposed to be in the area. In fact, he hasn't showed up until the very end of it, cutting in front of the crowd of people just in time to see All Might save the day. He stared. He stared at the green hair at the burned backpack when he locked eyes with the kid, with Rabbit. He smiled at the shotter, through his shaky, labored breath. Yes, like still in shock. Hey, Razor. Nice to finally meet you, is all he got out before collapsing. Good thing, good thing Shota has his capture weapon, as he wrapped it around the boy, keeping him steady. Let's get you to the medic's problem, child, he says, sighing. He's a bit disappointed, honestly. He was hoping he could have just kept the entire vigilante thing private until the kid gets into UA. But of course, the kid just had to commit an act of vigilantism outside of his rabbit persona. Maybe if he asks Nazu nicely, he can convince the commission to just drop all of the charges? It will likely be easy, considering how often the law overlooks quirkless people. Shota's train of thoughts comes to stop. Freckles, shit! He forgot about that. What was it Tsukauchi said? Quirkless people, they can't be charged with vigilantism. If the rabbit is legally not considered a vigilante, how would that affect the process? Speaking of Tsukauchi, the detective stabs beside him, staring at the likely still in shock child. Shota signs. Detective. Race ahead. What are you doing here? No, just here for some questioning. The other kid involved, Bakugo Katsuki, I think. He completely ran off, ranting about someone named Deku. Shota groans, rubbing his temple. So that's the infamous Kachan? The rabbit always talks about him. Out of all the people the kid could have saved, it had to be his childhood bully. Okay, maybe he's a bit biased. Maybe he started to think of the rabbit as his son and has some sort of resentment to the kid. He knows hurt his kid. But how could he not? I see. Did you get the green haired kid's name? Oh, he pauses, looking through his notes. His name Midoriya Izuku, age 14. We haven't gotten his quirk yet. The kid keeps insisting we don't need to know. Shota whines, not wanting to think about what that implies. He must be worried they deny medical treatment if someone who overshares as much as Midoriya decides to withdraw information. Shota hides his grimace in his capture weapon. I see. When you take him in, bring me with you. I want to talk to the kid. Tsukauchi stares at him for a moment, before nodding slowly and approaching Midori in the back of the ambulance. It feels odd seeing the two together after all of this time. Technically, he doesn't need to tell Tsukauchi about all of the vigilante stuff. Sure, it's his duty as a hero to report it, but Midori also technically not breaking any laws due to his lack of work. So yeah, He doesn't need to tell tsukauchi, and frankly, he debates on letting it go. But a little bug in his brain, the one that craves petty revenge, is squeaking for joy at the idea of finally proving he's been right this whole time. So when Tsukauchi motions for Shota to follow him in the direction, sorry, in the direction of the police station, he gladly obligates. Hopefully the kid will catch on quick. So, Midoriya, Tsukauchi begins. Can you start from the beginning? For God's sake. The rabbit, or Midoriya now, is sitting in his seat fidgeting nervously. Shota recognizes the restlessness, the need to move or get the pent up energy out somehow. So when Tsukauchi begins the questioning, Shota is pleased to know the kid most certainly will talk his ear off. Unsurprisingly, Midoriya immediately picks up when asked to speak. Of course, detective. So, it's also when I was on the roof and saw explosions from nearby. Shota cuts him off. You were on the roof? Midoriya nods. Oh, yeah, I should probably start from the beginning. There was some other stuff before Kachan got attacked. Kachan? You know the boy in the attack? Oh, yeah, he's, my friend? Bully. Shota interrupts. Tsukauchi gives him an odd look, a mix of discomfort and confusion. Shota just shrugs. He's not he's not a bully, he just Midoriya sighs. Never mind. Yeah, I do know Katsuki Bakugo. We go to school together and have been by each other's sides signed diapers. Like, there was this one time when we were around 5 where. Please stay on topic, Midoriya. Oh, sorry, detective. So, there was. Yeah. Second from the beginning. On my way home from school, I was attacked by the same sludge villain that got Kachan. Shota turns to Tsukauchi, who looks just as, if not more confused. There were no attacks reported, at least not that either of them knew of. They decided not to comment on it, instead waiting for the kid to continue. It was really, really gross. He said he was going to use me as a skin suit. I genuinely thought I was going to die, like, I was so close to passing out. Then Old Man showed up. He's like flying out of sewer drains. It was so cool. And, oh, that made sense. Always is infamous for taking on more than he can handle. He just leaves his problems for others to deal with. This situation bothers him so. If Midoriya almost actually died, why didn't Tolmai at least report it? It leaves a bitter taste in his mouth. so All Might saved me and collected the villain's sort of plastic bottles? Wait, then how did the villain get out? Oh, well, I sort of wanted to ask All Might a question. So I grabbed onto his leg when he flew away. I think that while we were flying, the bottles must have fallen or something. Shut gapes. I'm sorry, what? You grabbed onto his leg? Why? What question is that important that you would risk possibly falling for it to your death? Oh, Midoriya beams. I asked him if I could be a hero. He said no, but he said no. Takuchi is the one interrupting Midoriya this time. But Shota wanted to as well. Yeah, I mean, he gave me pretty good reason with his injury and all. Then Midoriya slaps a hand over his mouth, eyes wide. Takuchi was equally as horrified. He... Why would he tell you about his injury? What was he thinking? You are a kid! Shota feels at a loss for words, just staring at the two as they talk about something that Shota is definitely not in the know of. God, he's starting to regret this. About 20 minutes later, the questioning is almost done with. Tsukauchi smiles softly at the kid and stands finally done with the and stands. Shota dropped a few hints to the vigilantes, but Tsukauchi still hasn't managed to pick up on it. Assuming Shota's just talking about what happened today. So, as they leave, Shota turns to the kid and asks, Hey Rabbit, is your mother okay with me coming over today? I've been hoping to try the new coffee machine you two keep talking about. Tsukauchi had Tsukauchi's head shot up from where he's doing paperwork, and his shaky voice asks, "Pardon?" Shota looks over him and tilts his head slightly. What? What did you just call him? Shota grins. Rabbit? It's just a nickname. Technically, a vigilante name counts as a nickname, right? So that shouldn't trigger Tsukauchi's quirk, but that's the name of kid. The kid looks like a bunny, nothing deeper to it. The kid does, in fact, look like a bunny. But the rabbit! You said he was a kid and oh my god, this makes so much sense. The kid didn't use the quirk and they refused to tell us the first responders. Oh my god. Tsukauchi. Shut aside. Workless people legally can't even be considered vigilantes. The kid's like, what, 13? 14? It wouldn't be safe for him to pursue vigilantes at that young. You said it yourself. He seemed to draw on Tsukauchi. Just then, what Shota's doing? He puts his head in his hands and groans. I can't believe this. Plus, Midoriya, the rabbit pipes out. I would never be able to live without my mom finding out, he said with a cheeky grin. Tsukauchi slams his head onto his desk and points to the door. Leave! Really? Not even going to investigate the kid any further? No, I know you're going to do some weird stuff, like force Natsu to bring him into UA for free. I don't want involved in it. I've already given up in this case, honestly. Shota comes and ruffles the kid's hair. Let's go, Midoriya. Zashi's been dying to meet you. And that's the end of the pic. Thank you for listening, and I honestly love it so much. I love how funny it is, and I absolutely love Aizawa messing with Tsukauchi. Like, yeah, so that's a vigilante. I beg your pardon? The link to the original fake series and author will be in the description, just like the previous part of this series, and that's it for now. If there will be a third fic, I will do a podfic of it as well. But for now, just I'm yapping too much. I need to stop talking so much. I'm so sorry. Goodbye.